I will never forget, the builder calls me on a Sunday and he says, Tiffany, I want you to come to this property. I'm building your house for you. Me coming out of a nap, I'm thinking, who is this again? He's like, I'm the builder and I want you to come and look because you told me what you wanted and I'm building it. So you know I like story time, and today I'm going to talk about my personal experience and me being the buyer. Yeah. So me and my family, we were out looking for properties, and my background is I have a degree in interior design, and buying a home was just like a dream of mine. I was very excited about the process, and I got a chance to do a lot of the decision making when it came to the design, the style of the house, the exterior, the interior, all of that, because it was just right up my alley. And I will never forget my real estate agent. She was just the sweetest lady, period. And she would call me when she found a property. And I was not a person that wanted to waste somebody's time. So I knew I was picky. And I told her, okay, I will drive by the house first and I'll check it out and I'll let you know if I want to actually see the interior. So I would say over my entire shopping period for a home, I probably looked at a total of about 6 houses, maybe 6 or 7 houses. And nowadays, that's pretty sufficient, but to some people, it's not enough houses. I just knew what I wanted, and there were so few houses that met what I desired. So she would call and she would let me know, okay, I found another house, and she would send emails and the notifications. We weren't big time into texting at that point. It was a long time ago. But I would look at the property, and if it was something of interest enough, I would go and I'd drive by. There was this one house. When I tell you I wanted that house so desperately, I would have done anything to buy it. So I went to see the house. We get in the house, and I tell you, it was everything I wanted. I wanted a split floor plan, and I wanted a counter in the kitchen that overlooked the great room, just all the things from that time. And it was all of those things. It was absolutely perfect, but there was one room that was a little bit small, and I was a little concerned about it because my children at that time, they were pretty young. And so I told her, I said, well, let me go home and I'm going to sleep on it. I'll think about it and I'll call you back and let you know if I wanted to make an offer. Next day came. Well, guess what I wanted to do? I wanted to go back to the house to look at it again. So we went back to the house again. We looked at it another time. Well, this time the listing agent called my agent to see, okay, well, she's back for a second time. Are they ready to purchase the home? And I told her, I said, well, that one room is still just a little bit too small. So I just don't know if it's going to fit everything that we need. So I still need a little bit more time to think about it. Finally, I think maybe a week passed at that point, and we decided that we were going to go ahead and make an offer. By the time we made an offer, someone else had made an offer, and we lost that house. I was devastated. I was absolutely just almost depressed that we lost this property. So we kind of cooled it from looking at properties, but we had probably seen maybe 3 other houses that fit the bill. There was this one other home before we did decide to just take a break before trying to look anymore. And this house was kind of far out. It was the up and coming neighborhood, and it was a little travel to get there. And I will never forget walking through this property and thinking, oh, I want this changed. I don't like that. I need them to do this. The floors were the subfloor, which is typical in Louisiana. A lot of times you'll see properties, they won't have the flooring, but it would be the subfloor, and it would just be stained or stamped, something that has a little designer feel, but it had character. I didn't want that. I wanted flooring, and I had this long laundry list of all these things I wanted the seller, who was a builder, to change about the property. It was so outrageous, and I'll never forget her saying to me, are you sure that you want to do all these things on this list? And I said, no, I'm certain, because this is the reason for this and this is the reason for that. And it was just outrageous. Plus, I wanted to come off of the price because I felt like it was a bit overpriced with it feeling so unfinished. The floors and all of this. By the time I got done with that, we made this offer, and I can only imagine now being on the other side that my realtor thought, oh my God, oh my goodness, this lady is just ridiculous, and what she's asking for is so unrealistic. I pretty much wanted to change the house, and the house was a brand new construction property. I just need to build my own house. So then we kind of laid low on looking and decided, hey, we're not going to look for a while. And I'll never forget, in the process, we looked at one of those homes. Everything was new construction, but maybe two of the properties. So the builder at one of the properties made contact with us and said, hey, I have a property that I want you all to look at. So he calls me on a Sunday afternoon while I'm taking my Sunday afternoon nap, mind you. And he says, Tiffany, I want you to come to this property. I'm building your house for you. I need you to come and see it. And me coming out of a nap, I'm thinking, who is this again? And he tells me who he is again. He's like, I'm the builder and I want you to come and look because you told me what you wanted and I'm building it. And I said, you gotta be kidding me, right? He said, no, you need to come over now. What are you doing right now? I said, well, I was asleep. And he said, well, put your shoes on and get over here so you can see this house. So we go over to the property. Very nice neighborhood, driving in, all the things that I had kind of imagined that I wanted. And we get to the house and I see him standing out and there's dirt there and the slab was actually poured and you could see the studs of the house. So I get out of the car and I said, what have you done? Tell me about this property. So he describes it and tells me the number of bedrooms and the baths, and we're walking up through the dirt to the house. And when I walked in, because I'm a visual person, but I know enough about floor plans and design to understand the feel and where the walls go, because if this was studs only, no sheetrock or anything like that. And I told him, I said, this is everything I told you that I wanted in my floor plan. Split floor plan, the countertop in the kitchen that overlooks into the great room, windows across the back side of the house, and there was actually a bay window. Went on and on. I was so excited, but now I was concerned about the price. So what's the price for this house? Is everything that I asked for, but the square footage was more square footage. And he told me, you told me your budget, you told me what you wanted. I've designed this house specifically for you. I was completely shocked, but so elated and so excited. It was the right house. So I picked up the phone and I called my realtor and I asked her if she would meet me there. I think it was like the next day or the Tuesday, because that was on a Sunday. And she said, absolutely. We got a chance to look at all the floor plans, the elevations, and throughout the process, I got a chance to pick out my own finishes, from the lighting to cabinetry to knobs and pulls, you name it. Everything in that property, I had the opportunity to choose for myself. It was the best thing that could have happened because I was so outdone with looking for houses because I really wanted to design what I wanted, and at the time I wasn't finding it. It wasn't out there. So don't give up and make sure you make connections. Sometimes new construction is just the better idea. When the rates are high and when materials are expensive, I know that it can sound a little bit intimidating, or it sounds like the price is going to be above your budget. But you won't know until you have the conversations, because I thought for sure that house that he was building for me compared to everything else that I had seen should have been far more than the number that he quoted me for the sales price. So in the end, I felt like I won all the way around. I got a chance to do everything that I wanted to do because I love designing, and I got a great price. My realtor was still involved. She didn't waste her time with me, which that was a big deal to me, is to make sure that I made the best of her time, but I wanted to be certain that she was compensated. And I remember having the conversation with the builder who wanted me just to use him and not worry about the real estate agent. And I explained to him, I said, listen, if my real estate agent cannot be involved, I know I won't be able to do this deal because she has helped me. And at that point, we had looked for a house for a year, but it was like 6 houses that I looked at in a year. So I didn't want her not to be compensated, and I made certain that he wrote her into the offer. She wrote the offer, but he had to agree that she could be involved in the whole deal. So don't leave your agent out of your new construction property. Your agent is there still to protect you. You find the home, but at the end of the day, all the things that have to happen to get you to closing, that's what you need your real estate agent for. And she was there. We went through inspections, and there were simple little things that needed to be taken care of, but had she not been there, I don't know that I would have known to ask those questions of the builder. So I saw her as my protector throughout the process. I knew what I wanted. I didn't need her to pick the house for me. I needed her to protect me and be certain that The other party, they actually held up their end of the bargain, and he did a great job. And we moved into the house, happy campers, very just totally satisfied with the choices that I had made. And at the end of the day, it ended up being a great experience when I felt like, I don't know if I'm ever going to find a house because nobody's building what I want. So I had the opportunity to build it for myself. New construction may be your answer. So moral of the story is don't give up. Keep looking. The property is out there, and if it's not out there, create it. Find someone who can create it for you. All right, I love story time. So look for my story time. See you on the next one.